The country has witnessed another haul of 50 COVID-19 deaths, while the number of cases registered an all-time high at just over 9,000 positive cases. The worsening COVID scenario amid acute shortage of life-saving essentials such as oxygen only indicates that we need to be more vigilant in our fight against coronavirus with foolproof safety protocols. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. The country records another haul of 50-plus COVID-19 deaths, also surpasses the highest single-day surge with 9,023 cases. COVID-19 deaths due to lack of oxygen reported in Kathmandu Valley. Hospitals say the country could see more deaths due to oxygen scarcity. COVID-19 vaccine by China's Sinopharm gets a green signal for emergency use by the World Health Organization. And top seed Rafael Nadal out from the ongoing Madrid Open as Alexander Zverev claims his third straight victory to make it through to the semi-finals. The COVID-19 scenario has continued to look frightening with every passing day as the country reported another 50 deaths while also recording the highest daily positive cases with 9,023 cases. The country recorded over 9,000 cases of COVID-19, the highest till date, with 19,987 samples tested through the PCR method. According to the Health Ministry, there are 78,629 active cases at the moment, while 380 individuals are in various quarantine centers across the country. 2,905 individuals have registered full recovery, taking the total recoveries to 295,395. The death toll due to coronavirus has been rising in Kathmandu Valley amid the lack of oxygen supply in hospitals. Hospitals have warned the number of deaths could rise given the lack of oxygen supply. The Health Ministry, meanwhile, has been claiming that efforts are underway to bring oxygen cylinders from foreign countries, considering the increasing demand.
2 individuals succumbed to coronavirus in Bhaktapur International Hospital in capital's Kaushaltar amid lack of oxygen supply. 1 patient died at hospital due to lack of oxygen, while the other died when he was being shifted to another hospital. 10 patients in intensive care units and 4 patients requiring oxygen in general ward were transferred to another hospital as per hospital's advice. Meanwhile, HAMS, Bhaktapur, Alka, Nidan, among various other government and private hospitals are facing scarcity of oxygen supply. The hospitals have said that the deficit of oxygen supply by 50% has caused difficulty in treating patients. There are 31 oxygen plants in the country, including those in Kathmandu Valley, while around 6,300 cylinders are being used in various big and small hospitals. The demand, however, is much larger. Meanwhile, the government has just started taking initiations to expand the country's oxygen supply chain. The rising number of deaths due to coronavirus indicates that the scenario might blow out of proportions anytime soon. The government, therefore, should make maximum efforts to expand and manage the oxygen cylinders to save the lives of the general public.
Now, at a time when the second wave of COVID-19 is threatening to snowball into a major human catastrophe, the government has decided once again to entrust Hukum distributors to procure the anti-COVID vaccines. Hukum Distributors was lately in the news for wrong reasons, as it had sought commission from Indian manufacturer's Serum Institute while procuring 5 million doses of vaccines. The demand for the commission had ultimately obstructed the government plans of bringing home the said doses of vaccines.
Hukum Distributors on Wednesday was approved by the Department of Drugs Management to procure Covishield vaccines. This medicine distributing company is owned by businessmen duo Bijaya and Abhishek Dugard, along with notable business personalities Suraj Vaidya and Ritu Singh Vaidya. The government had earlier made 80% payment while procuring 2 million doses of vaccines from India at $4 per every vaccine, which comes to about 472 rupees. The government had received 1 million doses of vaccines under the deal, while the other consignment of 1 million doses is still awaited. The government proceeded on to procure another 5 million doses of vaccines by directly corresponding with the Serum Institute India. However, the procurement process was hampered after Serum's Nepal agent, Hukum Distributors, demanded 10% commission in the deal. The government, for reasons unexplained, has given a go-ahead signal to the same company to make the vaccines available, and this time around, a single dose of vaccine is going to cost 1,709 rupees. Meanwhile, the government has also approved the bidding of Ibrailed Pharmaceuticals to procure Coviskin vaccine, also manufactured in India, while Lomas Pharma has been entrusted with the procurement and distribution of Russia-manufactured Sputnik V vaccines.
China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson has said that a batch of anti-epidemic supplies have been largely collected and will be sent to Nepal as soon as possible. Spokesperson Wang Wenbin made the remarks at a daily press briefing when asked whether China will provide Nepal with anti-epidemic assistance as the COVID-19 scenario in Nepal has worsened rapidly in recent days. Wang said that as friendly neighbors and strategic cooperative partners, China and Nepal have joined hands to help each other and written a new chapter of China-Nepal friendship since the outbreak of the pandemic. Noting the recent severe situation in Nepal, Wang said China understood the challenges Nepal was facing and would continue to do its best to provide support to the Nepali side. At the recent video conference of the foreign ministers of China, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka on COVID-19, Chinese State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi announced that China will provide Nepal with a new batch of anti-epidemic supplies. In our Public Voice segment, we've asked local residents in Parvat district what should be done to minimize the risk of coronavirus in rural areas. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
चेकिङ हुनु पर्यो अब त्यस्तै छ अब आफ्नो सुरक्षा आफै बस्ने भित्र घरभित्र बस्ने बाहिर नजाने भिडभाड नजाने
सतर्कै अपनाउने भिडभाडमा कमी ल्याउने अब एक आपसमा चाहिँ दूरी कायमै गर्ने नि हो
बाहिरबाट आउने र यो इन्डियाबाट आउनेहरूलाई चाहिँ अलि सतर्क क्वारेन्टाइनमा राख्न पर्यो
सकेसम्म घरबाट बाहिर ननिस्किँदा नै हाम्रो लागि एकदम सुरक्षाको कुरा हो
सामाजिक दूरी कायम गरेर चाहिँ हिँडडुल गर्नको लागि चाहिँ जनप्रतिनिधिहरूले चाहिँ गाउँ गाउँमा गएर चाहिँ सबैलाई चाहिँ भन्नु पर्यो
नाकाहरुमा सबै चेक हुनु पर्यो दोस्रो कुरा चाहिँ विवाह व्रत बन्धहरु सबै अहिलेलाई चाहिँ रोकेर पछि सार्नु पर्यो
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, who is responsible for the failure to procure vaccines on time? Your options are A, the government, B, businesses, and C, manufacturers. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the sports update. FC Chitwan have crashed out of the first edition of Nepal Super League following their 2-1 defeat at the hands of Pokhara Thunders. In the match played at Capital's Dasrat Stadium, FC Chitwan failed to preserve its second half lead as Pokhara Thunders chalked out a 2-1 victory. Sishir Lekhi had put Chitwan ahead in the 72nd minute. However, Chitwan were reduced to 10 men after their custodian Vishal Sunar was red carded for venturing out of the D-box to clear a ball with his hand. Chitwan were punished within minutes as Navik Shrestha scored off a free kick to make it 1-1. This followed the injury time drama as Rafal scored the decisive goal. Pokhara with the win have kept their playoff chances still alive. Time now for our special segment, Media Watch.
Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, during a televised address to the nation on Monday, urged the international communities to help Nepal in its fight against COVID-19. Premier Oli appealed to the international communities to help Nepal with vaccines, diagnostic equipment and kits, oxygen therapy, critical care medicines, and other necessary materials to fight against the pandemic. During his address to the nation, Premier Oli also informed that the government had taken initiatives to transform all government and private hospitals and medical colleges into COVID special hospitals as per requirement to treat coronavirus-infected patients at a time when the country has been recording record number of single-day COVID-19 cases and deaths in recent days. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli announced on Sunday that he was ready to take a vote of confidence on 10th of May. Issuing a press statement later on Sunday, the President's office also informed that the President had summoned the meeting of the House of Representatives for 10th of May at 1 p.m. with the Prime Minister to take the confidence vote. Meanwhile, CPN Maoist Center decided on Tuesday to officially withdraw its support to the incumbent KP Sharma Oli-led government, which has now fallen to minority. The party informed the Parliament Secretariat on Wednesday regarding the decision made by Tuesday's Standing Committee meeting. After falling to minority, Prime Minister Oli visited main opposition Nepali Congress President Sherbahadur Deuba at his residence on Wednesday with a proposal of power sharing and cooperating him in the confidence vote. However, Deuba vehemently rejected the Premier's proposal. During the meeting with the main opposition leader, Prime Minister Oli hinted of midterm election if he fails to win the confidence vote from the lower house. Meanwhile, opposition parties have not come up with a clear stand on whether to oust Premier Oli by registering a no-confidence motion or to thwart his attempt to win the confidence vote. Even as there is a chance for Prime Minister Oli to lead the minority government if he fails to win the confidence vote, the opposition parties are still divided over the issue. Meanwhile, Prime Minister and Chairman of CPN-UML, KP Sharma Oli, has intensified internal party discussions after finding out that members within his party were making preparations to vote against him in Monday's confidence vote. This is Abhyuday Shrestha for Media Watch and Kantipur News Desk.
That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.